Attention on this channel. We've got an important message. All observations and opinions shared here are for educational purposes only. This content is intended for adults. Viewer discretion is advised. Be advised that any individuals mentioned are not intended to suggest involvement in any crime.
Case by case, got the fire.
Ha! Come on,
Yo, you wanna talk about true crime? We start with the data flows. Digital footprints meet criminal defense, that's how the story goes. This channel's all about online evidence, the stuff they overlook. From live stream chats to deleted posts, it's all in the true crime book. My goal is to provide insight for the attorney in the darkest hour, to find the proof that can make a case or break a criminal's power. So whether you're a lawyer or a PI, we're diving deep in the mess, exposing misconduct and hidden truths to get to the very best leads. We break it down case by case, on the trail of the facts. We show how digital evidence changes case outcomes, we on their tracks. No rumors, no gossip, just the evidence clear and concise, shining a light on the shadows at any cost or price. What do we do?
case by case.
What's the motto? We're here for the victims, the ones who were left behind. We're here for the families, giving them peace of mind. We follow the paper trail, the digital footprints and the timelines, connecting the dots, we're reading between the lines. We don't just talk theory, we show you how it works in practice. We're here to help you stay ahead of the curve, to get a new analysis. You think you're in charge, but we're here to find what matters most. We're giving a voice to the voiceless, like a digital ghost. Digital ghost. We break it down case by case, on the trail of the facts. We show how digital evidence changes case outcomes, we on their tracks. No rumors, no gossip, just the evidence clear and concise, shining a light on the shadows at any cost or price. What do we do?
Case by case.
What's the motto? From digital clues, the mystery, you wanna know the answers? We're dedicated to the chase, from the first look at the scene to the final resting place. We're here to find the answers, to give the victims their due. A true crime channel with a heart and a purpose too. We're here to build up, to expose the truth, and to shine a light on the darkest of deeds with all our might. We're here for the truth, we're here for the facts, and that's it. We don't chase the trends, we just chase the truth and never quit. We let the past speak for itself, we let the facts lay the ground. We're just here to be a voice, a tribute that is sound. Yeah, it's all for the truth.
Ha! Come on. Let's go.
Their thoughts for you, yeah.
Won't kiss the ring. Yeah.
Come on. Let's go.
Welcome back in. Welcome to Case by Case, everybody. Today we are discussing a little bit more in depth than just streaming live from JLR Investigates, but we're going to do a little bit of research ourselves here. We're going to take a look at Google Earth. We have some updates from, it just came out from CNN in regards to what law enforcement is now asking Nancy's neighbors for. They are looking for more security footage from anyone's cameras around the area from back on January 11th. So we're going to see what we can find out about that. Welcome in. Please like and share. If you don't mind, I would appreciate it. Let's get this chat filled up and get the conversation going. I have a nice little presentation. We're going to talk about Nancy's porch. We're going to talk about the timeline. We're going to talk about the discrepancies in the timeline. And we're going to talk about some people who in the past several years have been known to be staying at Nancy's house. So who would have had freedom of access to her property. Then we have a list of people that we know are familiar with her property, might know the layout, might know what her security features are. So we're going to get into all of that. But right now we're going to look at a video that was posted last night from Harley Levin from TMZ regarding some new information that not everyone might be aware of. So let's take a listen to what he has to say. Here we go.
There is new video, we are told, is on the FBI's radar in the Nancy Guthrie case. And it could be important, but we know it is in play. This video was shot at 1:52 in the morning at a home 5 miles from Nancy Guthrie's house. You see a man in the video both wearing a backpack and holding a backpack. The backpack that he is holding has reflective stripes, similar to the backpack that the kidnapper was wearing at Nancy's door. It's unclear from the video exactly where those reflective stripes are located, but they are reflective stripes. And we know and reported yesterday that this is a Walmart backpack, which is fairly common. The man appears to try and open a gate at a residence, and he is unable to do it. So he leaves at 1:53. Now, timing here is critical. When you listen to the FBI last week, they said that Nancy's doorbell was disabled at 1:47. Our law enforcement sources directly connected to this case tell us that the video that they retrieved showing the kidnapper at Nancy Guthrie's door, that video was actually 2:12 a.m. Notice that when the FBI released it, they didn't give a timestamp. They didn't say when it was. But we are told by law enforcement sources it was 2:12 a.m. Where you see the kidnapper. That's the video that was retrieved. So now think about this.
Okay.
If the kidnapper is at Nancy's door at 2:12 a.m., and this person in this other video 5 miles away left that home at 1:53, there would be 19 minutes that person has, if that person is the kidnapper, and I stress if, 19 minutes to drive 5 miles, put on the disguise, and walk up to Nancy's door. Now, I want to really make this clear.
Okay, let's listen. Let's back that up and listen to that again, because I know we just did this on the other stream that we were just on, but listen to these times again, and I'm going to write them down. And he's making the claim that there was 19 minutes in between seeing this individual a distance away to when he's claiming law enforcement says they showed us the camera footage of the guy on Nancy's porch, which I have to call bullshit, and I'm going to tell you why.
We don't know this is the kidnapper. We do know that person has, if that person is the kidnapper, and I stress if, 19 minutes to drive 5 miles, put on the disguise, and walk up to Nancy's door. Okay. Now, I want to retrieve showing the kidnapper at Nancy Guthrie's door. That video was actually 2:12 a.m.
Okay, so let's think about this. How is the video that law enforcement is showing us at 2:12 a.m. when the sheriff at his press conference that we just watched not even an hour ago had on his little presentation and timeline that the camera, the Ring camera was disconnected at what, 1:47? Hey, Angel Eyes. Good to see everybody in chat. Welcome in. Please, let's share the stream. Let's get the conversation going. I don't understand how that's possible. If the porch video camera was disconnected at 1:47, how are we getting footage from 2:12 of him on the porch attempting to dismantle the camera with his flowers in his hand. So let's just keep listening.
Notice that when the FBI released it, they didn't give a timestamp. They didn't say when it was. But we are told by law enforcement sources it was 2:12 a.m. Where you see the kidnapper. That's the video that was retrieved. So now think about this. If the kidnapper is at Nancy's door at 2:12 a.m., and this person in this other video 5 miles away left that home at 1:53, there would be 19 minutes that person has, if that person is the kidnapper, and I stress if, 19 minutes to drive 5 miles, put on the disguise, and walk up to Nancy's door. Now, I want to really make this clear. We don't know this is the kidnapper. We do know this is something the FBI is actively looking at to determine if there's any connection. So that's why the face is blurred. We don't know it's him, but we know the FBI is looking at that. One more thing. As for the glove that was found yesterday, we are told that there were actually more than one glove found at that scene. So the FBI is looking at it to authenticate, and as we hear things, we will let you know. But as of now, that video that was shot 5 miles away has piqued the FBI's interest.
Hang on one second, Angel Eyes. I'm trying to get you your wrench. Now, we have a new update from Brian Inton that I'm going to play, where he's talking about the new video footage that everyone is looking for. So let's take a listen to Brian Inton.
So a couple developments here from Tucson. It's Thursday morning. I'm getting my days all mixed up. And I'll get video for you guys later because I have video of a lot of this. But first of all, a tent did go up outside of Nancy Guthrie's house, right in the doorway where we were able to capture the video early on of the blood on the doorstep. They covered that area with the tent. They went in with like different kinds of equipment. It looked like a camera, and then also like a chart for height, which would make you think that they're trying to figure out the suspect's height based on the video that they have. So the tent was up for maybe an hour, maybe a little more, and then they actually took the tent down and left. So the tent is now down. That's one thing. The other thing is I have confirmed with neighbors that detectives are looking for Ring camera video in the area from January 11th, in the evening on January 11th, which is something new. That's obviously well before Nancy disappeared. We don't know the significance about that date, but it's interesting that they have a specific date that they are looking for video for on January 11th. Trying to think if there's anything else that's just been running around. If anything else develops, I'll obviously let you guys know, but those are the two big things so far today.
So let's look at the timeline here. And I've got my timeline, and then I captured some timelines from earlier today off of X. Let's see. So it says 1:47 a.m. The Nest doorbell camera disconnects. So either somebody's time is wrong, or are we dealing with somebody we've got somebody inside the house disconnecting it from a phone? Or disconnecting it from the system inside the home. I'm not familiar with how a Nest doorbell works. I have a Nest thermostat, and I know that it's on Bluetooth. And if you go to the wall, you can disconnect it that way. But I'm not sure about a Nest doorbell, and that might be something that we look into, because how if it's disconnected at 1:47. How are we getting a video from 2:12? And then we know the Apple Watch which we're getting different stories here too. We have a 2:28 timestamp for an Apple Watch disconnecting from the pacemaker, but the sheriff in his video said that it was a phone that the pacemaker was connected to. Now, I'm assuming if she's an Apple user, an Apple phone and an Apple Watch, the pacemaker would be connected to both. So maybe he's just not technically being specific on, it was disconnected from both. He said phone, but the majority of law enforcement that's come out and spoke, or the media reports from law enforcement there on the scene is saying Apple Watch. And we know the Apple Watch is significant because the Apple Watch was reported to have been mentioned in the ransom notes. So we have a little bit of a discrepancy there. Anna said that she has heard the creep was first filmed at 12:12 a.m., but there are so many networks saying a lot of things, 3 answers for any question. Exactly. And if Queen of the Hill is listening, there is, if she could snag it for me, I hate to send her on a wild goose chase. I just didn't have time to clip it and pull it in. But if Queen of the Hill is listening, she's kind of like my video go-to person. You're welcome, Angel. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to Case by Case. If you're interested in being a part of the group and furthering discussion about this case, Case by Case discussion group I do have a private group on Facebook. You have to request to be a member. Just answer the questions and my administrators will add you there. Please be respectful in the chat. Welcome in all the mods. Welcome in everyone new to the channel. But there's if Queen of the Hill, if you're listening, let me know if you're in chat. Matter of fact, I'm going to send you a quick text because there's some footage that we have of the sheriff that it's already been spliced up, where he's giving multiple accounts about. Oh, okay. So Queen of the Hill, there's a clip on Drop Dead Serious of Ashley Banfield where she's discussing the sheriff and this hour window that morning of her being reported missing. And I want to say that this was a recording from, I believe, Sunday night that she put up on the Ashley Banfield Drop Dead Serious channel. So looking at this timeline though, 2:28, and then this is the problem right here, the morning discovery. It's because I believe the sheriff at one point says the family was notified around 11 and went over to the house. And he states in a press conference that there is an hour window. So if your family shows up to check on you and there's a crime scene in the house, would it take you an hour to call 911 to report your family member missing? So that's really what was the family doing for that hour? So does that mean there's no signs of a crime scene inside the house? Does Nancy normally enter and the family normally enter through the garage? Is that where it's at, Angel Eyes? Let me see if I can snag it here. Oh, nope, that's not it. That's sharing the stream. Sorry. Anywho, yeah, guys, share the stream. But there's questions about that. So what was the perpetrator? If there's no crime scene in the house, and I'm not saying that there wasn't, what I'm saying is, what was this person doing in the house for 40 some odd minutes? And you've been doing your research on Mr. Chris, haven't you? He said specifically he's territorial and ineffective, plus all the deputies with years of experience have quit. Only young, inexperienced deputies now. Well, looks to me like the FBI has got tons of hands in this. And if there's anybody, of course, we have to keep this popped up on the screen as often as possible. 1-800-CALL-FBI if anybody knows anything. Let's see here. Let's check on JLR Investigates before I get into the presentation that I have. Whoa.
Who knows if the neighbor's telling the truth about that? You follow what I mean? Unclear if the neighbor, if that's coming, the alert was not sent from them. Pima County Sheriff's Department says this alert was not sent to them. Investigators now requesting video footage from January 11th between 9 p.m. to midnight regarding the Nancy Guthrie case. And then also on the 31st from 9:30 to 11 in the morning. And then they're saying suspicious vehicle via Entrada. But when they're saying that, it's not coming from law enforcement. They're not giving that alert out. Spread around.
So how many of you, going back to the first, okay, going back to,
There is new video, we are told, is on the FBI's radar in the Nancy Guthrie
this video
case.
right here.
And it could be important, but we know it is in play. This video was shot at 1:52 in the morning at a.
Okay, so look, this man, now I have the video of him without his head blurred out, and I can't tell in that video if he has a ski mask on or not. So Mary Smith, that's a very good point. She says, Mary Smith says, I cannot believe they did not collect the front mat and foliage by the blood. Kind of like Delphi, law enforcement leaving sticks behind. Yes, exactly. But this guy has another bag in the front of him. He's holding a bag. Now, does this backpack that he has onto you look as full as it does when an individual is on Nancy's porch? Or did he put that backpack or that bag he had? Yeah, I don't know. My video froze. My I don't know what's going on. If there's something in the neighborhood that's affecting our Wi-Fi, we normally don't have problems with the Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on, guys. Sorry, I apologize. Hold on a minute here. where okay, let me see. Let me pull that video back. We can look at the video. Audio is fine. Hi, Travis. How are you? So the backpack that he's wearing.
There is new video we are in play. This video was shot at 1:52 in the morning.
So see how he has two bags? Now the one on the left, it looks like he swings around and he pulls it around to the front of him.
At a home 5 miles from Nancy Guthrie's house. You see.
And it looks like he's going to throw it over the fence. But the one that he's got left on his back, does that backpack look as full as the one that we see him wearing? I don't want to say him because we can't say it's the same guy. The one that is on the guy's back on the front porch. And we will pull that one in and look at that. Because I feel like that one is bigger. So yeah, that does have a sheen to it. Now look at this guy's, look at the cuffs of his jacket right there on his left hand that he takes down and away. There's a cuff. Do you guys see it? And do you notice how they skip the video? So, and this guy looks like his shoes are a lighter color. So let's go back over to this one.
Man in the video, both at a home 5 miles from Nancy Guthrie's house.
Okay, now in a camera that is black, that does like infrared lighting at night, would it turn darker items light? Because when you look at him right here as he's reaching
from Nancy Guthrie's house.
Are there cuffs on his wrists? And he doesn't have on any gloves either. Now the jacket or the bag that he put over the fence has the sheen
shot
to it.
At 1:52 in the morning at a home 5 miles from Nancy Guthrie's house. You see a man in the video, both wearing a backpack.
Now, right here, as if you look underneath of his armpit, you see that cord
in the video
hanging down.
Both wearing.
And some people have pointed that out in some of these images. Now, see, in this image right here, with him standing at the bottom of Nancy's steps, it's weird because it almost looks like there's no eyes or mouth cut. So Travis, guys, Travis is an attorney from Texas, and he said that he had a client almost 30 years ago whose daughter was kidnapped from her house from a gated community with security at gate. He paid the ransom before contacting the FBI. Did he get her back? Was the daughter returned? Yeah, there's no straps or gun holder on this. Like he doesn't have the backpack. Yes, he got her back right away. Wow. He got lucky. So in this picture that we see, does this jacket appear to be the same jacket? Or does it appear to be a different jacket? Is this two different people? And the purpose of this photo is to show you that there's some sort of lighting out in the front of the house, because you can see his shadow here. And you can also see that there's some sort of lighting behind his head, like his head is bent down and back in the foreground. And I'm not talking about the lights at the house back there. I'm talking about right before his head. And then, wait a minute. In this photo, that lighting is gone. But does this look like the same person as this person to you guys? So, hi, Candy. How are you? Candy says, I do wonder if the first video is really part of the ransom, because it would not be in the cloud without a subscription. And if the FBI obtained video from their cloud, that ain't right. See, I'm not really familiar with, I know how it gets saved in the cloud. And that was what they were showing us earlier with the FBI that was there with the tent. They had that device where they were going to be able to download digital video from the cloud and from a laptop. Travis says that there was 3 kidnappers. They were all 3 caught within a month. One was using cash to buy a Ferrari in Southern California. The one got to corporate against the other one testified against the other 2. So Anna says the guy trying the gate isn't the one at Nancy's. Looks like beyond wildlife, like coyotes and javelins. There are plenty of human predators at night. Well, Harvey Levin just stated that it's 19 minutes between, if you believe what Harvey Levin is saying about 212. But we know, based on the timeline, the doorbell camera disconnected at 1:47. But Harvey Levin is saying that we're seeing this video at 2:12. Hey, Trinity, welcome in. So it's my understanding, Travis, that the very first when the ransom letters first came in, the first deadline was a $4 million ransom. And if that wasn't met by the deadline, which, I think it was, let me pull up the timeline. Was it Thursday or Friday that first deadline? Let's see here. So I didn't have it on my timeline. Let me look at the other one, because there was 2 deadlines. The first one was a $4 million ransom. And if that wasn't paid on time, then it went to $6 million, which we know that I have a video, I can play 2 of them talking about the there is activity on that Bitcoin link now. So on this timeline, we have so TMZ on Monday, February 2nd, TMZ and 2 other local Arizona outlets reported receiving an email that appears to be a ransom note, including financial demands and deadlines. So they don't, this timeline doesn't tell us when that first deadline was due, but we know Monday, this past Monday was the second deadline at 5 p.m. And there had been no activity on that Bitcoin account at that time. But now there is activity, and I'll pull that video up for you guys because they talk about that as well. Well, first, let's listen to again what the sheriff had to say about the timeline, and he has his own little presentation up on the board where he's got everything listed out.
The timeline, I think we've got it on the board, do we not? This is a timeline that we have been able to develop with some of the things that we've had processed, various pieces of electronics that we've gathered. And you look at some of this, and I know you're going to say, well, why did it take you so long to get this to us, Sheriff? Well, because one thing, it's got to go out and be processed at different lab sites. And sometimes that stuff comes back to us. And like you, we have questions. And we say, wait a minute, what is this about? What about this? Could it be that? And so it's sent back, or it's sent somewhere else. So, and that's happening with all of the things we see, that process, that review, and that questioning of, all right, what is it we're looking at? So I'll go over it with you. You can see it on the board there, but at about 5:32 p.m., these are approximate times. 5:32 p.m., Nancy travels to her local family's home for dinner and playing games with the family, just visiting. At 9:48 p.m., which is very consistent to what we were told by the family, that Nancy was dropped off at home. And we know that because we have a garage door open at approximately, I can't stress that enough, at approximately 9:48 p.m. At 9:50 p.m.
Now, remember, I made this, I'm going to make this point again right here. He's talking approximately. And the media was reporting that she might have a smart garage door, which I don't know how that works. I had thought to myself, well, or maybe because she was going over to her daughter's house for dinner, she goes in and out of her house like most people do through the garage. That's what we use. That's what all of our neighbors use. They come home from work, they hit that garage door opener, they pull into the garage, and they enter their house from inside the garage. So, and earlier I had stated, if she was so security oriented, why wouldn't she have a subscription on her security cameras? Number one. Number two, when he's saying approximate, that tells me the garage door is not being monitored by a time-stamped system. What it tells me is that it could be the garage door opening, and when you open your garage door, the interior light comes on, and that would be a bright enough light to lighten up the driveway, and maybe one of the neighbors' Ring cameras caught that, and then the garage door closing. So 2 minutes, within 2 minutes, the door opens and the door closes. That tells me that she was dropped off and she went right inside. Doesn't tell me that somebody pulled into the driveway and parked, got out, helped her in, went inside, unless they were hoofing it quickly. Did she have leftovers? Did she take them inside? Did someone help her? Did she need help getting inside? We just don't know, though. We don't have those answers. But I don't know how we are seeing this guy on the step, like Harvey is saying, at 2:12, if the camera was disconnected at 1:47. That doesn't mean the camera stopped recording at 1:47. It was just taken off the brick. It's still connected to the Bluetooth until that camera, I would think, would exceed the distance that would maintain the connection. Yeah, he's a talker. And clearly after like 2 days of him doing his press conference, someone told him to shut his mouth.
That garage door closes. It is that time we assume that Nancy's home and probably going to bed. Sunday morning, early morning at 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects. At 2:12 a.m., software detects a person on a camera, but there's no video available.
Okay, so 2:12. Now he just highlighted that 2:12 a.m. timestamp, which is the same 2:12 that Harvey's talking about, that there's no camera footage. Again, the camera's supposed to be offline already. Fig, that's a good question. Could the perpetrator have already been there? I mean, yeah, but why is there blood on the front porch? That's the one thing that we can't lose sight of. If the law enforcement has confirmed that that is Nancy's blood on the front porch. Now, either that was staged, she was injured and they used something to drip blood on the porch to stage it, to basically send the message, we are drop dead serious here. This 84-year-old woman was injured in this. Was it staged? But if not, we know there was a perpetrator in the backyard. We've got pictures of the cameras in the back. It was reported. Now, that's the one thing that we can't bank on. I know that Ashley Banfield is a great reporter. I like Ashley Banfield. She does a great job. And I know that over the years, this is why I have to give her a lot of credibility, is because over the years, she stated she has developed, and I'll pull that up. She has developed a lot of very reliable sources within law enforcement across the country, including the FBI. And if you have not heard what she stated about what she was told, I'll pull that up and play it for you. But yes, Fig, we were told no signs of no signs of forced entry. Now, I like how he denies it, but it's almost a denial without a denial. It's like, we've never said that. We don't know where that came from, but he didn't. We'll
They
just
had no
listen.
subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself. It just kind of loops, right, and covers up. That's what our analysis teams have told us. We're not done with that. We'll do all we can, but that's what it says. So that detects a person on camera. Could that be an animal? I imagine it's possible. We don't know that. We just have no video. But we're not giving up on that. 228. Nancy's pacemaker app shows that it was a disconnect from the phone. And at 11:56 a.m., the family checks on Nancy and discovers her missing. And at 12:03 p.m., 911 is called in to the Pima County Sheriff's Department. I believe it's about approximately 10 minutes later, 12 minutes later, our patrol teams arrive. They see the scene, and we start our response with our search and rescue teams and our detectives from homicide and various units. In fact, every unit here, I think somebody questioned, how come there's an ICAC member out here, or this member? Everybody in our criminal investigations team is a part of this team and part of this investigative effort. The doorbell camera, it was removed, we know that, but we're not confirming that any cameras were smashed or destroyed around the house. I don't know where that came from, but that's something we're not confirming. The car, the car that was at the home, it's just standard investigative practices. It's part of the search warrant scene, court orders. We pull it out of there and do our scene processing with the vehicle. Uber, We did speak to a driver because Nancy, we learned, had been taken the Uber to the family residence, the daughter, for dinner. And we located that driver and spoke with them and got that information. The house, you guys got this, I think, conducting follow-up. I think you said somebody
now with more.
Sorry.
A team out there again last night or yesterday, and that's just again what I was talking about before. Our partners wanted a chance to see it and examine things themselves, and more importantly, it's just we're constantly following up on things and go, hey, what about this? So we want to go back and check on some things. Right? Oh, here's the other thing. Someone had mentioned there was forced entry. I have no clue where that comes from. We have been very consistent. We are not discussing that at all. Whether it's forced entry or not forced entry, that is something we're just not discussing. So I don't know where anybody got that information.
So there's that. Mother of Dragons. Hi, Mother. How are you? Anna said this as well. She said, Mother says, I saw where the sheriff has a big ego. Instead of turning this case over to the FBI, he thinks he can handle it, and that most of the seasoned detectives have retired. Yes. I'm going to pull up Ashley Banfield for those of you who have not seen. Welcome in, everybody, by the way, if you're new here. Welcome to Case by Case. My name is Amy. Please hit that like button and share the stream. I'm going to pull in Ashley Banfield's video because this is where she's talking about her source and what she has to say about what she was told.
I'm Ashley Banfield, and this is Drop Dead Serious. I have some breaking information on the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie's mother in Tucson, Arizona. I have spoken with an impeccable law enforcement source who has informed me, with his knowledge of the investigation, of some extraordinarily serious pieces of information about this crime scene. I can tell you that Mrs. Guthrie had cameras, plural, at this home, and that they were smashed. You may have heard Brian Enton from News Nation talking earlier and asking Sheriff Chris Nanos a question in the news conference. And again, today I'm recording on February the 3rd. It's a Tuesday.
So this is Tuesday. We know Nancy went missing sometime early on the 1st, Sunday night, or early in the morning of Sunday morning. So now right here's our first conflict. We've got Ashley Banfield claiming that a source has confirmed to her that there were multiple cameras and they were smashed. Now, the sheriff just said there were no cameras that were smashed.
Press conference that was early in the day, Brian asked the sheriff, the camera on the front of the house is missing. And the sheriff said, we are trying to get into the companies that, are proprietors of this kind of cloud information to get that, and said by today he did not have that information, did not have whatever.
Let me point out here really quick, too, why we have this up and we have the ability to see it. This was a great shot right there of the doorbell. So when we go back and we watch the man on the front porch, somebody earlier had said that it looked like he might have rang the bell. Because I had thought when we watched him, it looked as though he was doing something with his right hand up at the camera, and his left hand appeared to be reaching for the doorknob, which would be exactly where his left hand was on the doorknob to this security door. But look at where the doorbell is right there. It's to the far right of the side light. So even though he's got his hand over this camera, it appears Nancy, if she came out of her bedroom, because this looks to be like it's a ranch, so I don't think she's got an upstairs. And if she even peered down towards her front door, she could see movement out this window. And I'm assuming she's got one on each side of her door. We have them on each side of our door. So when I come down the steps, I can see my full front porch from one of my skylight windows.
That, you know, are proprietors of this kind of cloud information to get that, and said by today he did not have that information, did not have whatever was recorded. But I can tell you they are Nest cameras. They are Nest cameras, plural, and that whoever did this may have smashed those cameras, plural. So they're not there, presumably because law enforcement took those smashed cameras as evidence. I can also tell you I've got information about which door in the house was actually left open. There's been some erroneous reporting about some things. I now have the information about that. I can tell you about blood in the house. I can confirm. Brian Enton has some incredible reporting and pictures of blood outside the house. He's going to join me in a moment. We're going to talk about that. I can also...
So blood in the house is what she's saying, that her sources told her there was blood in the house. So if that is the case, why... and if I'm hoping that we can get it on this stream, the audio clips that are conjoined, it's a compilation of comments the sheriff has made where he admits there's an hour that morning, Sunday morning, from when the family arrived to check on her. An hour goes by before they call 911 to report her missing. If there's blood in the house, did they not see it? Was it not enough for it to draw attention right away? You know, the blood on the front porch is not, it's a decent amount, but it's not one that would lead you to believe that somebody was fatally injured. And that's another thing I want to get into is I believe in the early onset of this investigation, I believe the sheriff's department was calling this a homicide. And if they were calling it a homicide, then that would tell me that there was an extensive amount of blood in the house. But why did it not alarm the family right away? Unless this is all so confusing.
Tell you whose car has been towed into evidence. And I can tell you that there is a family member who is being heavily looked at right now as a...
Now that part of her reporting we know is true, because we do know that they were over at Annie's house. They towed Annie's car. Then they went back several days later and were in the garage taking photographs and there were camera flashes throughout the house and in the garage. There was some suggestions that they had all the lights off, as if maybe they were using luminol in there. But we know that part of her reporting has some validity to it.
A potential suspect.
Now, this is already after law enforcement has searched this property. The crime scene tape was taken down, and Brian Itten was able to walk right up to the front door. That blue shirt or whatever that item is, that piece of fabric there on the rocks, that blue thing was left there by law enforcement.
In a moment, there's more information about Nancy's pacemaker.
So as we can see right here, we do have two skylight windows, one on each side of her door. And there is blood on the front porch and on this walkway coming out of her porch.
Probably have heard up until now that Nancy Guthrie had a pacemaker and it disconnected from her Apple devices, her Apple Watch, her Apple phone.
So there's blood.
Phone, which were left.
So I'm wondering, by looking at these droplets, okay, how there's an outer ring, if the inner circular parts of these droplets is where they took their swabs.
In the home at about 2 o'clock.
Sorry, I'm going slow. But do you see how that green leaf is on top of the blood droplet?
In the morning.
There's another one on top of the blood droplet.
And that is a significant
We know now how this stem of this plant got there. Why is it on top of the blood?
Who is being heavily looked at right now as a
Was she
potential
already removed
suspect.
from the house out this front
As we
door?
found out all too
And the
well,
video footage that we are
there's more
seeing is
information
him going
about
back
Nancy's
and
pacemaker. You probably
taking
have heard
the
it before
camera.
now that Nancy Guthrie had a pacemaker and it disconnected from her Apple devices, her Apple Watch, her Apple phone, which were left in the home at about 2 o'clock in the morning. And that is a significant time, and I will tell you why, that it is extraordinarily instructive to this investigation in terms of narrowing to a window. I'll explain why in a moment. Don't think that the pacemaker stopped working because she died. That's not it. The separation of Bluetooth between the things that the pacemaker was linked to, the Apple Watch and the phone. When they get out of range, you take your AirPods, you walk out, you leave an AirTag behind, you get a notice. You're disconnected.
Yeah, we know. So we're going to fast forward. See if they show, if there's another shot of, she's showing the same shot of that. We've got Brian Itten who comes on here and talks with her. I always like going back to the very beginning of a case
and impounded
and look at what
evidence.
we thought, and then
That's
looking
the
at what we're learning new
This law
and how it
enforcement source
makes
also said to
everything
me,
fall into place.
Who has the motive to kidnap an 84-year-old woman?
Well, exactly. Why? I mean, let's just pretend that this is a random, this was a breaking and entering gone wrong. And how many, put a 1 in the chat if you think this was targeted, or if you put a 2 in the chat if you think it's random. See, that's my whole point. Blood on top of the flowers would mean more. That's that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the order in which this crime happened, because if the person that we see in the footage at the door, if this was his first initial attempt to get in, so everybody in chat right now is hitting a 1 saying they think this was targeted. I agree. I think it was targeted. But I don't think who set this up is that sophisticated. At least didn't appear to be at the front door. Or was so comfortable with the property and the surrounding area that they knew they were in such a tremendous cover of darkness that they were comfortable. But the fact that we know law enforcement found the blood. So I believe the second that they discovered the blood, maybe the family discovered the blood on the front porch before law enforcement even got there. We just don't know. I'm assuming that they would have this area sectioned off to where people weren't running in and out the front door. But if those flowers were laying on the front porch when Annie was brought out the door, then why isn't there blood on the flowers? That's my question. So had she already been taken out and this person came back up to remove the camera, which means if that is the order of events, then that leads me to believe that there was somebody else with him. But then again, we have these images of, are we looking at 2 different people here? Here, we have this image, and then we have this image. Is this the same person? Got the same black gloves. This person doesn't have a gun around his waist, nor does he have on a backpack. Yes, he took the camera. The camera is gone. Now, the jacket here in this right-hand side photograph looks like it's a nylon jacket. Like it's got a sheen to it. It could just be the lighting, but this jacket doesn't look like it's a sheen. It looks like it's a fabric, but we can't really tell. You think it's the same person, 2 different time? Doubt dictates. I am baffled by the front door. So let's go back over here to what Ashley's talking about, because she's got Brian Etten who
Described
comes
to me
on.
as that's a burden, right? It's a burden to kidnap an 84-year-old woman with mobility issues needing medication. That is a burden.
Welcome in, everybody.
And
If
then
you're
this
new
law enforcement
here,
source said,
welcome to Case by
so
Case. My
you
name is
look at people who
Amy.
would
Hit
have a
that like
benefit
button for me, please.
to an
Let's share the
84-year-old woman
stream.
going away, disappearing or dying.
I
Sometimes
will
it's
be
somebody
touching
who
in
gets an
on
insurance benefit from that.
JLR
Sometimes it's somebody
Investigates
who may
channel,
benefit
so we
because
can
there's a debt.
keep an eye on what's going on out there in
And
the
that may be
neighborhood of
helpful.
Nancy's
These are
neighborhood.
just musings. They are not evidence, okay? But they are musings from people I trust implicitly due to their longevity in the business of investigating this exact kind of thing. I told you already about the pacemaker information, the law enforcement.
So let's fast forward until we get Brian Etten on here. Now this is Tomas. This is Annie's husband. They are married. This is Annie's house. Annie bought her house about a year and a couple of months ago. And I do have the address. I am going to pull this house up. We should be able to get photos of the inside of this home from a realtor site. Now, Nancy's house was on the market in 2025 and then taken off the market. And I'm it seems to me, timing wise, that she took her house off the market because Annie bought a home close. Annie's only about 7 minutes away. Excuse me. Anna says she thinks that his gear has been stowed in a vehicle. In her opinion, that could be. That's what's so curious to me about the blood drops on the front porch and going down the sidewalk, because we'll go over it all again. We went over it earlier today, but we'll do it again.
For 6th grade science and AP biology.
Yeah, he's a 6th grade
Nation,
teacher.
it's a music website, says that he put out an album with a 3-man music group called Early Black. Music is apparently available, but that's all I know about Annie Guthrie's husband, who, again, one law enforcement source, very connected, highly regarded, impeccable credentials, knowledge of this investigation, says that Tommaso Cioni, Annie P. Guthrie's husband, may be the prime suspect in this case, and Annie's vehicle has been towed, impounded, and is now in evidence. Very distressing.
Do you guys even think that his eyes look remotely the same? Because the man on the porch, to me, is somebody who has his eyebrows trimmed. I know a lot of people were saying that they think they looked feminine, but I don't think the person on the porch to me looks feminine, but the eyebrows are definitely unique.
So Brian Etten is with me from News Nation. He's been doing some incredible work since landing on the ground in Tucson. Brian, you have done, again, some outstanding reporting out in front of Nancy Guthrie's home. When the crime scene was turned over to the family, you found a blood trail.
Yeah, we did. And I was kind of surprised, Ashley, that it was not a crime scene anymore. I don't know why I just expected that they would still have some tape outside. Or, when you cover these things, they'll have like one police car that stays behind everybody left. I mean, it was just empty, except there were some, what I thought were family members coming and going today. I don't know who they were. So we decided, like, let's just go knock on the door and see if anybody is home, just to kind of see what's going on, since it's not a crime scene. It's all opened back up. And so walking up to the front door, you could see that there was blood right outside the front door on the ground, like on the stoop right there, right near the front mat going in. Just, not a ton of blood, but it was definitely blood. It was all right there. And then when you looked up, you could see where the camera was, right by, like, almost like where it looked like a doorbell, but it was a camera, and the camera was gone.
Well, and my information from my source is that those cameras were smashed, not just the front one. There was a second one. Whoever did this knew there were two, smashed them. So presumably the fact that you saw that they're gone means that the police took them for evidence.
Yeah, well, what's interesting, though, is when I asked the sheriff, I was at the press conference, and I asked the sheriff, we noticed that the camera is gone in the front. Do you think the perpetrator took the camera? He said, we noticed that too, and all of that is under investigation. So it was kind of strange. Like, I don't kn- he didn't give me an answer. Like, was it the perpetrator who took the camera? Was it the police who took the camera? But he acknowledged that they also noticed that the camera was gone.
I think he's having to answer in real time to, investigative information.
Okay, now let's listen to Harvey Levin again.
Harvey Levin is with us. Harvey, all right, so we have the glove. We have a third letter. Of course, TMZ, you are right in the middle of that. Let's start with the letter you received today and the differences between this and the first letter you received.
Well, the first letter was a ransom letter, and it had a Bitcoin address. And as we told you yesterday, Sean, there was activity in that account. This letter that we got this morning is not a ransom letter. It is a letter saying that this person who wrote it knows the identity of the kidnapper. And for the price of 1 Bitcoin, that person will disclose the information. The person gives a Bitcoin address. We have checked it all day so far.
Now, just to put this in perspective, 1 Bitcoin is worth about, I think, $66,000. The sheriff's department or the FBI, one of the two, is offering a $50,000 reward. So this person just took a major risk for an extra 16 grand to try to blackmail or bribe for Bitcoin to give up the name of the person who is a part of this crime. Silly.
There is no Bitcoin that has been deposited, as you said, worth about $67,000. If this is a hoax, it's a crime. It is criminal fraud. But we turn this over to the FBI and the sheriff's department.
I would think it would be whether it's a hoax or not, I think it would be a crime.
Authorities as much as you possibly can.
Why not just come out and tell the sheriff's department who it is and claim the reward? The idiots. They don't know who it is.
Big role in all this. The odd thing about the $67,000, $67,500, and I'm thinking, well, they're offering a reward of $50,000, and you're not risking going to jail. Why?
Right.
No sense
Let me give you a hypothesis on that. So there have been situations recently, actually, where a reward was offered by federal authorities, but when the person was captured, there was some controversy over whether the people who helped capture that person should get the reward or not. And there were a lot of people who were upset about that because they didn't get the reward. So it may be that this person knows that it's not a sure thing, and doing it this way is a bird in the hand.
I would think everybody wants to be all hands on deck. You'd like to believe the best in people, right? If you can help, if you have information, you don't want to charge for it. You want to go all in and help the family out, help your fellow American out. It doesn't make any sense.
So Rexy says that you think all of them are a hoax. You don't think that any of the ransoms. What would be the point in taking her, though? I mean, there's a possibility, and I hate to even speculate about this, but there's a possibility that, they're in the Catalina foothills, and the amount of desert out there. I mean, if she was no longer with us and they took her from the house, I mean, spending 40 minutes in the house, taking an injured or a deceased person with you isn't going to save evidence, I don't believe, because you were in the house for 40 some minutes. And there was a report the other day, I believe it was again by Ashley Banfield, that this person was in the house long enough to have used the restroom. Now, how anyone would know that, I don't know. But that was the statement that was made. Thank you, Hebby, so much, aka Heather Brown. But well, Fig, yeah, if they were getting rid of DNA evidence, but eventually the body has to be discarded, and eventually the body is going to be found with the DNA on it. And if this, I mean, that goes back to, is this a targeted? Yeah, it's all speculation. If it goes back to this being targeted, was SA the purpose, or was it a breaking and entering? We don't know if Nancy had a safe in the house. We don't know what kind of jewelry she owned. We don't know if I've kind of kicked around. I know that she has grandchildren. She's had, and we can talk about this here. I didn't share any names, but the research that I've done on this, let me pull it up here. The research I've done on this, in going back through her public records, for whatever reason, over the last, I believe it's going back for years, there have been individuals who have stayed at Nancy's house. There are other names affiliated with her address. She's lived in this home for over 30 years. So we have, but the most, and I kind of only pulled in the most recent ones in the last couple of years. Four Pits, how are you? I just got some screenshots of you in a conversation you haven't had the other day with somebody, and I am so proud of you. Good for you. I think you know what I'm talking about. But so in September, from September 23rd to September 26th in 2025, there was somebody affiliated with her property in her public records that stayed at the property for about 3 days, like a visitor. And these are people who would have had access to the residence, people who would have had either a door code, a key, access to, a keypad maybe, if she has one at the garage. So there was one in 2025. There's no indication in the public reports as to why this person was listed as being affiliated with the property. We don't, it could be as simple as, for example, what if Nancy had a surgery and she had an in-home healthcare nurse come and stay with her 24 hours? There are different public records that you can pull, and we have a couple of people who were staying at her house. We have another one back in 2023 that stayed at her property for a duration of about 5 days. And this was, 2 years before the abduction. It was a short stay, and it was most likely listed as a guest or a caretaker or a professional visit. Still relevant though, because they would have access and exposure to the property. They would know the property. Then we have another one. And as you can see up here in the left-hand corner, FA is the initial of this person, and JM is the initials of this person. This one was again from August. So JM stayed in August for about 3 days, and then FA stayed for about 5 days in October of the same year in 2023, 2 years before the property. Now here, these are a list of individuals that are linked via family to Nancy. We know I removed their last names, but these are all of the people who by family or marriage. and at the property, but would have a good knowledge of the workings of the property. You know, she has to have a pool company that takes care of that pool. We know there's no way she's vacuuming that pool, or she's handling the pump system on that pool. With it being in Arizona, that is probably an all year round company that probably visits her property at least once a month. How many employees does a pool company go through a year? Lawn care, landscaping. We know that she just had some electrical work done on the house. A neighbor brought to the attention to some of the media that was on the streets that she had just had her roof redone, or some work done on her roof. And here's a picture of the back door. Now, we talked about this earlier. The floodlight to the right of this door is the floodlight that was damaged. We have a video of that. But on this image here, it shows you how many floodlights were actually on the property. There were 4. One on the front left corner of the house, the very front left corner. This is kind of this is a patio that's fenced in over here on the left with a sliding glass door. So it makes me wonder if this little terrace that comes off the side of the house here is her master bedroom, if she has a sliding glass set of doors in her bedroom. But there's a floodlight here that was intact. It wasn't broken. It's the 2 floodlights in the back that appear to be one on each side of that blue door that were both broken. Then there was another floodlight on the side of what I've been told, or I've heard it called a guest house, or maybe a pool house. It depends on how she uses it. So there's a floodlight here, and then there's a floodlight supposedly to the left of the door, and both of those were broken. Now, when you look at the property and you look at where the floodlights were, you can see there's a floodlight right there above this window to this guest house or pool house. That was left on. But somebody could have pulled right up here next to that driveway, next to that garage, or beside this building where their car would be pretty much obscured at dark time. If the back door was left open, as Ashley Banfield reports, and the 2 floodlights back there are busted, why go out the front door? Why even go to the front door? That's what I don't understand. Do you guys, what is your opinion about that? If the back door was open, and the other thing that I wanted to say, let me see, here is a better look at it from that side. So we did talk about this earlier, but you see the fenced in area here where the air conditioning unit is that attaches to her house. And that wall behind that air conditioning unit is brick. So when you go into the garage door here, is that storage space inside the garage? So when you use this door here on the back of the house, this blue door with the glass panels, are you actually entering the garage itself, the wide open garage? Or when you enter through this door, is it a corridor of some kind that takes you to another door to enter the house? Either way, if this door was the door that was left open, I would assume that it was left unlocked, because otherwise, if they had to break in, it would have been easier to pop out one of these glass panes to reach in and unlock it versus prying the door open. I don't know. But they said there's no forced entry. The only other thing that we don't know, and I'm trying to get a better viewpoint of, is what door is underneath this awning here to the right, where you see she has patio furniture. I'm assuming there is either French doors or a sliding glass door here that goes onto the patio. Was that the door that was left open? Yeah, I don't think that she was outrunning anybody, Amanda, at all. I really don't. And I can't get I can't get a better viewpoint of what her patio underneath this awning looks like. Well, I mean, no, I think her garage door is attached to her house. Yeah, when you pull into the garage, when you pull in here, I'm assuming there's a door inside the garage that allows you to enter the house. So if she, like a lot of people, use her garage door to go in and out, whoever dropped her off could have just pulled right up to that garage door. If she would have had the garage door opener in her purse, or, I mean, I don't know, maybe Annie has a garage door opener. Maybe that's how Annie comes and goes, because they said that Annie does visit here often. So we have no idea. There's just so many unanswered questions, and it's so stressful. To this blood on the porch, it's driving me crazy. If the back door, even if the back door wasn't open, okay, let's just pretend Ashley Banfield is batshit crazy and doesn't know what she's talking about, or her source doesn't know what they're talking about. Let's just pretend the back door wasn't open, and you're going to break into someone's house. We know someone was back there because the floodlights were smashed. Why go to the front door at all? Why go to the front door at all? And how many times did he go to the front door? I guess, the alternatives could be reasonable. Let's say he had parked down the street. So going out the front door and going to the right, maybe he parked to the right up the road. But when we get on Google Earth, the people across the street, there's a cul-de-sac right across the street. So if I get on here, hold on one second. We can look at it. No. I'm gonna pull up Google Earth, guys. So is my screen sharing? Okay, I'll make it bigger. It won't let me make it bigger. So, okay. So let me find her. We've got Annie's house right here. And then she lives off of West Niagara Street. And then Nancy's house is over here. Let me get to it. Nancy's house is right here. So here's Nancy's house, 5820. And you really can't zoom in without it getting blurry to see up underneath that awning. But what you can see is when you come out of this driveway here, there's a street right in front of her house, and it's like a cul-de-sac. And there's 4 homes right here. There's this one right here, which it appears the front of the house faces the cul-de-sac, but this house here, this one right here, faces Nancy's house. This one right here could capture lighting in Nancy's driveway. Right here, if her garage door opened and this lit up in the dark of night, a camera could capture that lighting. That's why when I hear the sheriff say approximate time the garage door opened, that's what I think they're going off of. And then I would also be interested in this property back here behind Nancy, her house, their house 2135, their front door, they have that circular type driveway as well. Their front door could capture, whoops, stop it. Their front door, okay, I just moved. Where did it go? Hold on, sorry. Their front door faces her backyard. So if they had surveillance, but it all depends on what kind of surveillance they have. Is it motion detected, or does it run 24 hours? And if it runs 24 hours, might be the only way that we would see when those floodlights in the back went out. I'm assuming they were on, otherwise, why would they be broken? And we have the camera here. That the FBI took off. Let me see, let me pin it. Where that yellow mark is, we have a camera there that we've seen the FBI take off the roof. So, but look at the terrain back here. Somebody could have parked. Actually, I don't think so. Look at the neighborhood. Like where she lives on North Camino Escalante. This is one long street, but this street behind her house, it's not really a place where you would go to park to hide your vehicle. It's literally all like looping around to driveways. But if the person, let's say, parked on North Escalante, down a ways and walked, it just doesn't make any sense why they would go out the front door other than to go to a vehicle. But why, if you're going to go right up to the front door, why not pull up into this little area right here and hide your car? If your mission is to go in and abduct an 84-year-old woman, if this was targeted. So that's just more unanswered questions. Hey guys, welcome in. Welcome to Case by Case. I'm Amy. Please hit that like and share the stream for me. Let's go over and check on, let's go check on JLR and see what's going on there. And then we will also hop over to Twitter and see if we have any new updates on Twitter.
And people coming with their meals and snacks. Media's here eating lunch. They're eating lunch.
Hey, Sunflower. Welcome.
Crazy, right?
we're starting the Facebook group, the Case by Case Facebook group is starting to do it. Wow, wait till the speed pops up, guys. Wait till the speed pops up. Look at these cars.
Traffic jam. Nancy Guthrie's home. Major traffic jam.
Why?
This is crazy.
Hey, wait, what, where, who? Welcome in.
Hey, cars can't even get through.
Amanda says, if
Traffic jam.
this was in fact
It's a
a
traffic
kidnapping
jam,
and
right?
it was planned,
You
there
ever seen
had to
anything
have
like
been
this?
more than
It's
one.
crazy, right?
I wonder if there was a getaway
So what's
car
up? Did you
with one
find any
person
scoops
in
or
it,
information?
the guy in the
Anything?
front and someone out
Anything
back.
brewing?
Good question.
This is what Pima put out. Pima County. Look at this. I'm going this way. I don't want to step on it. Dude, they can't move. Folks, we have a traffic jam in front of Nancy Guthrie's home. There's so many people out here. Crazy.
That white truck has been out in front of her house since this morning with the hood up for some reason.
Now you heard Sue Ellen. She wants the traffic here. She wants the garbage people to come in. Garbage people ain't gonna
Oh,
get through there.
Sunflower, I hope that's not the case.
I don't know. We'll monitor the traffic jam.
Yeah, we don't know I just turned JLR back on. We just got done talking about the floodlights. We were just on Google Earth.
Who's gonna budge here?
We talked about how many people had stayed at Nancy's house over the course of the past couple of years who would have had, intimate knowledge of the property.
Due to major traffic jam. Breaking news. We got a traffic jam. Oh, there's a tire moving.
That would be horrific.
Oh, we got movement. Traffic jam cleared. A major traffic jam out here in front of Nancy's. It's clear. Got more media arriving with their equipment and everything. Oh, almost.
Oh, here's a good one.
It's crazy or what?
Yeah, well, so there is a team out. There is a team. There was an interview this morning with the team from Homeland Security who is out there with dogs. I don't know where they are. Hey, Deanna. Yes, I'm here today.
Said tow trucks needed.
I had another doctor's appointment today.
Hi.
Blah.
How are you? Oh, your neighbor? You have to be a neighbor. You got a dog.
No.
No?
No, I live like 10 minutes away, but
Hi,
I've been
what's your
driving
name?
by. Summer?
Hi, Summer. What's your dog's name?
Bolt.
Bolt. Can I show Bolt?
Yeah.
Look at Bolt.
Oh, wow.
The dog is Bolt.
Husky German Shepherd.
Hi, Bolt. How are you?
He's hot.
Good doggy. I love dogs. Give me kisses.
You've been busy.
Yes. So what brings you out here? You want to talk?
I don't really got
No.
much information.
You're
I
gonna-
just live 10 minutes away. I'm a huge true crime junkie. Been following Brian Enton. So I just thought it was cool that, all this is happening in my hometown.
In your own hometown. So you cover true crime. Or
Oh,
like
wow,
true crime.
guys.
Very, very, yeah, a lot.
Oh,
So like
here's,
what cases?
hold
like?
on a second. Look at this. Hold on a second. Let me pull this image up. Remember how I said, no way. Okay, let me share this. Let me share this image. Look at this guy's face. This is a better view than what I have when I said I have the guy who was in the neighborhood without his head, without his face being blurred. Can you guys see him? Look at the eyebrows. Okay. Ooh, good. Another good catch, because somebody had said they thought the guy on Nancy's porch had a tattoo on his arm or wrist. This guy does too. Right there. Top right picture with his left arm above his head. You can see it on his wrist. Look at his eyebrows. And he does appear to have a light mustache. What do you guys think? Yeah, he looks like he's an older man. Well, they said that he was that this person was 5 miles away, and not so he was seen on this camera 19 minutes before the man was seen on Nancy's camera. Oh, Just Jen, good point. Thank you, Jen. Just Jen says wrong wrist. So people were saying that he had a tattoo on his right wrist. Maybe he has a tattoo on both. Yes, this was the one that was trying to open the gate with 2 backpacks. We have where did it go? We have that video. If you're late coming in, I can play it again.
There is new video, we are told, is on the FBI's radar in the Nancy Guthrie case. And it could be important, but we know it is in play. This video was shot at 1:52 in the morning at a home 5 miles from Nancy Guthrie's house. You see a man in the video both wearing a backpack and holding a backpack. The backpack that he is holding has reflective stripes, similar to the backpack that the kidnapper was wearing at Nancy's door. It's unclear from the video exactly where those reflective stripes are located, but they are reflective stripes. And we know and reported yesterday that this is a Walmart backpack, which is fairly common. The man appears to try and open a gate at a residence, and he is unable to do it. So he leaves at 1:53. Now, timing here is critical. When you listen to the FBI last week, they said that Nancy's doorbell was disabled at 1:47. Our law enforcement sources directly connected to this case tell us that the video that they retrieved showing the kidnapper at Nancy Guthrie's door, that video was actually 2:12 a.m. Notice.
So how is that? That's the frustration. How is it possible? If it was disconnected at 1:47, how is the video that we have of him on her front porch at 2:12? And it's not, he's not Just Jen, he's not at 2 different places at once. He was seen on the camera trying to unlock the gate 19 minutes before the man was seen on the front porch. So from this residence where he's trying to open the gate, it's about 5 miles away from Nancy's house. So 19 minutes. So he had 19 minutes to get from this location where the gate is to Nancy's house, if this is the same person. But the one thing that seeing his face, seeing this man's face and his eyebrows. Let's pull him up again. Hey, Streets. Seeing this man's face and his eyebrows. Look at the shape of his head. Now, I'm going to look for that video of this footage. His head is not blurred out. Changes my opinion about there may be an SA just based on his age. Takes a special kind of young person to SA an 84-year-old woman, but an older man such as this one, they're going to find this guy right here. They're going to find him. Someone's going to tip him in now that his face is being blasted out. Someone needs to tip him in. But what I'm noticing up here is, okay, so on his left arm, it appears he's got a tattoo on the inner side of his, like below his wrist onto his lower forearm. Now, what arm are we looking at over here on the far left? That appears to me to be a different angle of a tattoo. Is that on his right arm or is that on his left? So okay, never mind. I see what this image is. This image is the wrist of the man on Nancy's porch. Duh. Wake up, Amy. That's the wrist. So there's still a possibility this man has a tattoo on his right wrist as well. We just can't see it. What do you guys think? Do you look at his head? Do you think his head looks? Amanda says she can't see it. Can't see what? Yes, he had time to get there. 19 minutes. He had 19 minutes to travel from this location to Nancy's house. And this guy here doesn't have the waistband, the gun. But we have the images up here where we have him without the waistband or the gun in his front waistband. Blah, 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 blah. Hang on a second. We'll remove that one and we're going to pull up this one. This one. No gun, no backpack, no straps around the shoulders. But this one does. Now, look at his shoes in this video. Let's look at the shoes.
That when the FBI released
on this guy? Can we see
Could
his
be
when
important,
he
we're
walks up?
told, and it could be important, but we know it is in play. This video was shot at 1:52 in the morning at a home 5 miles from Nancy Guthrie's house. You see a man in the video both wearing a backpack and holding a backpack. The backpack that he is holding has reflective stripes similar to the backpack that the kidnapper was wearing at Nancy's door. It's unclear from the video exactly where those reflective stripes are located, but they are reflective stripes. And we know and reported yesterday that this is a wall.
Fig, which one did you say you didn't see the first one I shared? Which one, Fig?
Walmart backpack, which is fairly common. The
Hey,
man
Patty, welcome in.
appears to try and open a gate at a residence, and he is unable.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I didn't share that one. Okay, I'll share it again. Sorry. I will share it again. Can you see it now? Nope. Stop sharing. Let me remove it. Now I'm going to share it. I blew it up so you guys can see it even better. There. So you can see on the left-hand side is the picture of the guy on Nancy's porch with his gun in the most weird, I don't know what kind of a holster that is. Do the jackets even look the same to you guys? So in this image, you can see a tattoo looks like on the right wrist. I'm guessing underneath the palm, it looks like. I can't tell if it's underneath the palm or if it's on the side, but this guy has a tattoo on his left arm. But this guy right here on the right, he's going to be found. Someone's going to tip him in. Mary thinks the jacket's very similar. Is there a hood? Good question. Let's go watch. So let me stop sharing. Let's play it. Look when he turns around. If there's a hood. Stand up. I think there's a hood. Is that a hood? Do you guys think he has a hood on? And I mean, I just, Queen says she thinks he does. Okay, Fig, let's look and see. I can't tell if they're jeans or not. so they almost look like they could be the same style of pants.
Wearing a backpack and holding a backpack. The backpack that he is holding has reflective stripes similar to the backpack that the kidnapper was wearing at Nancy's.
Do you think the guy trying to open the gate looks thinner than this guy on the
door?
porch?
It's unclear from the video exactly where those reflective stripes are located, but they are reflective stripes. And we know and reported yesterday that this is a Walmart backpack, which is fairly common. The man appears to try and open a gate at a residence, and he is unable to do it. So he leaves at 1:53. Now, timing here is critical. When you listen to the FBI last week, they said that Nancy's doorbell was disabled at 1:47. Our law enforcement sources.
Now let's take a look at hold on, let me remove that. I want to see if we can look at the guy's nose, like the structure of his nose. Because I feel like that guy has a very slender nose. Right here, the one on the left, the far left. It's not a very good picture. This is what I think he might have in his mouth, though. It's a mouth light. Does the head look different? Does the shape of the head look funny? Like the other guy? I can't wait till this guy's found. They're going to find him. This is bizarre. Okay, let's go back to JLR and see what he's up to.
You're gonna get the water and water the flowers. Look, somebody here, a resident, has free books. Free library. Free books.
His feed is a little bit blurry.
Little free library. Got a library. can come here and you can sit here and read a book. Look at that. Neighbor has a library, a free public library.
That's great. I see. We have a lot of those around here too.
Video's blurry. Yeah, I'm in a different area. Let me just get water and we'll go back.
Hey, Andy, Cindy. Here, I'm going to pull. Let's see what's going on X. Well, there. Okay, there it is, right there. We've got the whole video with his head unblurred. Now we can watch it.
There is new video, we are told.
No, that's still on X. See, the original video that Harvey filmed or Harvey showed, this guy's face was blurred out. Now they've unblurred it. And they're pointing to the same things hanging out of his pocket. Some people were saying that the guy on Nancy's porch had something hanging out of his pocket. And I don't know if it's something hanging out of his pocket or if it's part of the jacket or a part of the strap of the backpack hanging down. What's he doing with his mouth? Did you guys see that? What's he doing with his mouth? When he's walking up, it looks like he's putting something in his mouth. And when he turns around and leaves, it looks like he's either taking something out or putting something in again. See that? Messing with his mouth. We can't see if there's a light in his mouth. Now he's messing with his mouth again. Uh-oh. You guys can't see it? No image on screen. Oh, shit. Damn it. Hold on. Okay, now watch. Mouth. He was messing with his mouth. Messing with his mouth again. When he walks away, he's messing with his mouth.
There is new video, we are told, is on the FBI's radar in the Nancy.
How is he eating if he's reaching over with his hand to unlock a fence?
There is new video.
Oh, Jesus. This is going to drive me. Oh, here we go. There's everybody's favorite. There she is at her desk in front of the Idaho 4 house. Yeah, is he chewing or is he adjusting something? Because that light has like a plate on each side for your teeth to hang on to it. Yeah, Nancy's a hot mess. We're going to just scroll right on past Nancy. I can't with Nancy. Okay, so looking at the two photos of with the backpack versus the suspect. The man in the color video has something in his pocket. Looks heavy on the video and how it swings when it moves. Just thinking out loud here. That's what I was talking about. Looks heavy. I don't know if his jacket if his pocket would be deep enough to hold that gun. And ring alert, a neighbor of Nancy Guthrie's tells Fox News investigators are seeking video footage from January 11th, 9 p.m. to midnight, and January 31st. The alert also references a suspicious vehicle on Via Entrada around 10 a.m. on January 31st. Around 10 a.m. on Via Entrada. Well, I don't know. Do you guys want to go look at the map and see where Via Entrada is? Two backpacks. What is he doing with two backpacks? There they are putting up the that was earlier today.
I'm going to move here so that our photojournalist Nick Emmons can push in. All right, what they were getting, we know that they walked in with some kind of camera equipment. We see them now leaving. They're taking that tent down. Again, this scene has been very active this morning.
That's true, Amanda. Why wear a mask in one and not the other?
Now this. What's also interesting is you and I were talking about this gravel driveway, right? What if there was blood? If they took her out of that front door, what if there was blood on the driveway? Also, the garage is on the other side, which also kind of feeds into this horseshoe driveway. If they were looking for more evidence, we now have citizen journalists, we have a pizza delivery guy, we have people delivering flowers to the area as well. And that could compromise an investigation. We now have other footprints. We have tire tracks. Again, we're watching as they take this tent down. They're loading everything in a vehicle and then taking off. What they pulled or where they went or what they were shooting at the front of the house is still unclear. You know, they have all of these incredible cameras that can look at, you know, things that we can't see with the naked eye. Also, if they're looking for additional DNA, but you see them going, and this is happening live right now. The most active scene that we have seen today, certainly over the past few days as well.
Interesting. You got to think, Jessica, that, and this is a good time, I'm going to bring in Tracy Walder here, that they closed off that area. It seemed like they had some type of equipment to measure whether they're trying to get the size of the shoe that the subject was wearing or their height in accordance to the door, the archway right there as they approach the camera. There's a lot of information that they can glean, and they probably want to keep that under wraps up.
Okay, well, there's that. Got Shaboogies on here. Here's a video again of him. You guys think he's chewing? Why did they cut it out?
There is new video.
Why did they
we are
cut
told is on
that
the
video
FBI's radar
of him, of him messing with the gate? You can see the video's been spliced. That's frustrating. This request. So, here's what? Okay, this is interesting. This request to ring doorbell camera owners who live near Nancy Guthrie and her daughter Annie has been getting a lot of attention, particularly because of the January 11th bit. But a Pima County Sheriff's Department spokeswoman tells me it came from a neighbor and not the Sheriff's Department. So the Pima County Sheriff's Department says the alert was not sent by them. Wow. Well, guys, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot going on right now. So I think we can hop off here. And if anything news breaking comes up, I'll go live. In the meantime, if you want to keep an eye on what JLR Investigates is doing on the ground out there in Nancy's neighborhood, you guys can hop over to JLR's stream. That's funny. Mother of Dragon says she saw it earlier and he had a cigarette in his mouth. I don't know. I didn't see a cigarette. I don't know. To me, it looked like he was putting something in his mouth and adjusting it. I don't know. It could just be because we know the other guy has a light on his mouth, in his mouth. So, blah. Anywho, well, thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for joining me as we just continue to wait for more updates, and hopefully something will happen soon. I'm looking for this guy who was trying to unlock the fence. I'm looking for him to be caught. Someone's going to tip him in now that we can see his face. Angel Eyes, welcome aboard as a mod. Indy Cindy, I need to get with you. We have some stuff to discuss. I don't know if Fungi told you yesterday, but I will email you. I have some catching up to do. But thanks, guys, for being here, and I will see you later. Please hit that like on your way out the door. If you like the content here and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you know when we're live. We do a lot of coverage on the Delphi case, and obviously we're covering this one too. So I will see everybody later. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.